Hi everyone, this is Elizabeth from Nettie's News. I have a journal to share with you today that was inspired by a video I recently watched. Lauri, a girl on the ridge, made a health and fitness journal, and she included some really fun and practical ideas in her journal. So I decided to do one for myself. I have set mine up to follow a 90-day format or to be used for the next 90 days. And what I did was to just go into my scrap box, into my odds and ends, and grab things out and put it together. I had made this envelope. I had covered the envelope here with this digital paper, and then wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do with it from there. I did something on the inside of it that I'll show you here in a minute that was just an idea I had, and I have tested it out and then put the envelope aside because I didn't have an actual project in mind for it. And so those are the kinds of things that I've included in this, as well as a few ephemera that were gifted to me by Shalilia in the Traveler's Notebook swap. So thank you, Shalilia. I'm having a lot of fun using these. So as I said, this is an envelope, 6x9 envelope, and it's covered all the way from end to end in a digital paper, and I inked the edges. And this is onion skin dyed seam binding and a button for the closure. And then a printable that it was a leftover from Ephemera's Vintage Garden, and then I put lace on the edge. This has 2 signatures in it. And here's a library pocket that I made that just, there was something wrong with it. I don't know what. I chose not to use it for the project that I was making it for, and just put it in my leftovers box, and those are the things I've pulled out and used here. This is a tea bag that I tore apart and cleaned up, and I'm using it as a double pocket, and I have small tags in here and this one larger journal card in the back. This is going to have my the list of my 90-day goals, what I want to accomplish in the 90 days, health and fitness wise. And then these little tickets are from these are little tickets from Tsunami Rose, and then some smaller tags from Lilac and Lavender. And on each one of these, I'm going to put a smaller goal, a stepping stone goal, and then, excuse me, and then a reward, a reward that I get for accomplishing that goal. So that's the pocket here on the front. And then all of these pages are dyed either with ink refills or onion skin, and just left them plain because I want to journal what I eat for the day, plan menus, record what my physical activity is, exercises, things like that, and then to be able to jot my thoughts and ideas as I go through this process. So here's a book page, and again, these are just cut-offs. This is from I think it's a printable from Ephemera's Vintage Garden. Some ephemera from Shalilia, and then just tags and scrap paper cut-offs, and I've just included all of them to have plenty of spaces to write down what I'm doing during this period. Here's a pocket and some tea-dyed paper cut-offs. This is a pocket, a double pocket I've put in the center of the signature that's made from waxed paper I had used for dyeing. When I do my papers and I don't want the cute little holes like, or the little polka dots like Hermelinda gets, then I either lay parchment paper down on the tray, and I use a brush to brush on the liquid. I don't like to dip my paper. I don't usually want it that dark. So I either lay wax paper or parchment paper down on my counter, and I brush brush the dye liquid onto them, and then I just lift that up and put it onto the tray as I move them in and out of the oven. And so this is the leftover wax paper from that. This is a piece of paper that Shalilia gifted me in that swab. So bare pages, I'll be decorating these, adding tags, stamps, things like that, maybe doodles and stuff as I journal. There's a journaling card. Another book page. And a doily. Scrap paper. So very simple. Lots of open pages. It's just a journal. This is an envelope I made from stamp off paper when I'm stamping things and I want to do like an all over background. I have a piece of scrap paper underneath, and I usually use just a regular piece of copy paper, and then it stamps off the edge of whatever project I'm working on, and I can take that and fill in other places, and I use it for pockets and envelopes and things like that. So this one is the middle of this signature. Oh, I do that every time. I actually glued this down for a pocket, and every time I want to flip that page, I think I have glue stuck that is holding things together that it shouldn't be. So this is a scrap of an old ledger that I found at the thrift store, and the doily, and then just a tuck spot in the back and some tea-dyed papers, cut-offs that I've put in there. And then here in the back pocket, I took a journaling card and I took some scrap graph paper to make a little booklet, and this is where I'm going to record my weights and measurements. And that just tucks in here, and of course there's room here for putting other things that I might want to keep track of. So this here that you see, I had a piece of tea-dyed paper, and I just wanted to see what it would look like if I did a lace punch along the edge and then used that for the lining of an envelope journal. And I inked it so that it would coordinate a bit with this paper that's on the front. And then I Mod Podged it, the tea-dyed paper, to the inside of the envelope. One thing I found out is that this is dye-based ink. It's Stampin' Up, which is what all my inks are other than my StazOn. Anyway, it's a dye ink, and so the Mod Podge, once it gets wet, it will pick up that color. And it was an experiment. I wanted to see how it would work and what it would do, so I learned something. I was pleased with how this came out. It is a junk journal, and so the transfer of the dye didn't really bother me. But like I said, I didn't have a specific project in mind at the time. I had the technique in mind. I wanted to experiment, try it out, learn, so that I would know whether or not I could or wanted to use it in future projects. So it's always a fun thing for me to have those experiments. Unfortunately, that means you tend to have a lot of stuff left over lying around. But that's one of the advantages and the blessings in junk journaling, is because eventually you'll find a place for it. And I did here in my health and fitness journal. So this is what I've done, and looking forward to using it. And I want to say thank you to Lauri for all the great ideas she had in her journal and for sharing. And thanks to all of you for watching.